I can't believe I'm about to eat chicken again. Oh my word. Can't believe it. Oh, yes. Look at that. Guys, that is chicken growing in the wild. Chicken of the woods mushroom. And that's a colossal sized one. So this is chicken of the woods mushroom. Now, legend has it that the gods of the forests and woodlands would take pity on the people that lived nearby in times of scarcity, and they would gift them this cherished, incredible mushroom on fallen trees like oak trees. And the mushroom was so highly prized for its nutrition profile that it was said to give the strength of the oak tree to whoever ate it. Not only has it got a great nutritional profile, but it also has the texture of chicken. That's why it's called chicken of the woods, and a subtle chickeny flavor. It's mind-blowing. And to find one here is just incredible. I feel so grateful. And there's a cluster here and there's a cluster up there. So I'm gonna take what I need to create some incredible recipes, starting with this, a beautiful schnitzel. So I'm just admiring this extra little cluster over here too. This will be my first time harvesting my own chicken of the woods. And I now know it's here, so I won't take too much, I'll take just enough. But a surprising fact about it is that it's got a huge amount of protein in comparison to other mushrooms. It's got like 14 grams of protein per 100 grams. Look at the color on that, and you can see the flesh on the center. It's got this amazing texture, just raw. Now this does need to be cooked to get rid of any toxicity, but I can almost feel that meatiness. Now, as you can see, it's almost like levels, like shelves on this tree, and that's another name for it, sulfur shelf for some reason. And that's a nice bit of chicken in the wood. It's going to create a lovely fillet. Guys, I woke up this morning just dreaming and so excited to cook with my chicken of the woods mushroom. Look at this harvest. I was planning what am I going to do to these mushrooms to try and elevate them to a level of texture and taste that makes them shine for what they really are, which is that meaty mushroom that you would never ever believe is so much like chicken. So I thought I'll make a schnitzel. Schnitzels originated in Austria, and they're usually made with chicken or pork or other meats, but I think this chicken of the woods mushroom will be perfect. So I'm going to dust these off now, get rid of any dirt or debris, and then trim them, cut them into some nice juicy fillets. And the first cooking technique that we're going to use is to poach them. So with these mushrooms, they have such a fibrous texture. I don't want to cut them. I actually want to sort of really enhance that by tearing them. I think a sharp cut wouldn't create enough surface area almost. So I'm just going to tear them and cut away any of the firm bits that were attached to the tree. All right, so there's a couple reasons why we're going to poach the mushrooms in some boiling water. Well, in a lovely flavoursome stock actually. One of the reasons is to get rid of any bitterness that may be in the mushroom, and then also just to intensify the flavour of them, plus it will change the texture slightly. So I'm going to get my veg stock boiling here. I'm going to add some dried porcini mushrooms, the trimmings of the chicken of the woods mushroom, a sprig of thyme and rosemary from the garden, 3 cloves of garlic, some miso paste, and a touch of soy sauce. We'll mix all that together, and when it's simmering away, I'll drop in my mushrooms to poach for around 4 to 5 minutes. Oh, that smells meaty, really rich. Wow, and look at them. That is strange, right? Honestly, it feels surreal cooking with these. It's a very strange ingredient, but my times eating it and cooking it in the past, it's such a treat. This is such a blessing, honestly. Wow, look at that one. That one is made to make a schnitzel. All right, so this broth could be turned into the most unbelievable rich gravy, and I will definitely do that. But for the schnitzels today, I'm not gonna be serving them with a gravy. I'm gonna make a really fresh, vibrant, taste of the garden herby sauce, just because I want something to liven up this, even though it doesn't really need it, but something just to cut through the meatiness. But I'll be reserving that for some amazing gravy. All right, it's breading time. Obviously, schnitzels coated in crispy golden breadcrumbs. You're gonna need 3 bowls. Now, I just wanna say, if you aren't able to get chicken of the woods mushroom, it's very rare, replace this with something else. You can do tempeh or tofu, or you can do another mushroom or aubergine or something like that. So with the 3 bowls, 1 bowl is gonna be full up with some breadcrumbs. I'm gonna use some panko breadcrumbs, which are already dried and crispy. And in another bowl, I'm gonna have a dry flour mix that I'm gonna add some spices into. I'm gonna add a pinch of smoked paprika, a pinch of dried sage, dried tarragon, a little celery salt, and some white pepper. I'm gonna mix all that up, and then in my final bowl, I'll make a wet batter mix with some flour, a little water, and a touch of oil. All right, now we're gonna get a little bit sciencey. This is high echelon stuff. We're gonna actually coat these mushrooms first in the dry mix. Then that dry mix enables the wet mix to stick to the mushrooms, and then that wet mix enables the breadcrumbs. So we're gonna go dry, wet, breadcrumbs. And what I try and do is keep 1 hand for dry and 1 hand for wet, but sometimes it doesn't quite happen and I end up breadcrumb in my hands. But anyway, we'll get it done. Just make sure you've got a lovely coverage of breadcrumbs all around in the nooks and crannies of each piece of mushroom. I didn't use the same hand. Straight away, first mushroom, using the same hand. Typical, isn't it? This is now my wet hand. If you find that the mushroom isn't totally getting coated, you can always double dip. This one seems to be really good. It's all about the consistency of the wet mix, really. Try and keep it a little on the thicker side and everything will cling to the mushroom nicely. One hand. This one is a whole fillet. Look at the size of that, it's a beast. It's probably going to use up all of my breadcrumbs. But not to worry, I can always make some fresh breadcrumbs with some bread I have. If you don't have panko breadcrumbs, just blitz up some old stale bread or some sourdough or something like that, and that's how you make breadcrumbs. Simple as that, but that is amazing. That's gonna go so golden and crisp. All right, so my mushrooms are all coated. Oh, look at them. I cannot wait to cook these. Before I do, I'm gonna go and gather some herbs from my garden and make a Gaz's Garden green sauce, like a salsa verde. Oh, and you get to see how beautiful the garden's looking. All the flowers are out. Summer is well and truly kick-starting. Let's have a look. So for my Gaz's Garden green garnish sauce, there's a load of variety. There's loads of herbs. This is a really nice time to be in the garden. Actually, I'm like a kid in a sweet shop because there's so many things I'm seeing now that I would like to get in this sauce. I've just noticed my first nasturtium flower of the year too. They are so delicately peppery and delicious. There's sage flowers here which the bees absolutely love, and it's just a joy watching them going in each flower. You wouldn't think that sage flowers would be so beautiful too. I've got some parsley over there. We've got some spring onions. So I think I'll gather a little bit of everything, starting with parsley, a nice handful of that, my spring onions, some nasturtium leaves, a few sage leaves and flowers, and then we'll go up in the greenhouse and pick some lovely bold, beautiful basil, some cheerful chives, and some marvelous mint. That is a lovely herb basket there. If you want to see a whole garden tour, then click by here. It's now time to get this into the kitchen. I'm going to chop it up super fine, mix it in a bowl with some lemon zest and lemon juice. I'll add a load of capers as well, some salt and some pepper, and then I'll whisk in some olive oil. And of course, it wouldn't be a Gaz's Garden green garnish sauce without some Gaz's Garden garlic. So I'm going to get some of that in, just a few cloves chopped up really fine, and that will complete the Gaz's Garden green garlic garnish sauce. Well, I'm confused myself, I don't know where the garlic is. Here it is. Oh, this is stunning. It's the scent of my garden for sure. And hopefully in a few weeks' time I'll have some of my own lemons from my lemon tree. It's time now though to fry and cook the mushrooms and then serve up. I'm actually going to shallow fry my mushrooms in a little oil in my cast iron pan until crisp and golden. We really want a golden crust. All right, so I'm cooking the schnitzels for around 4 to 5 minutes on each side. I think now it's time to flip over. Here it goes. Oh, yes. Oh, that is the color I wanted. Look at that. Crisp as hell. Wow. So golden. Wow, that is impressive. Oh, this is spectacular. Got to get a pinch of salt over these. That will keep them crisp and just season them up nicely. Remember, inside that breadcrumb, we've got the poached chicken of the woods mushroom, and it was poached in that really rich stock, so I'm hoping that really carries through. It's time to plate up. I'm going to enjoy these outside in the garden for sure. That looks amazing already, but we can't serve a schnitzel without some sauerkraut. I made some homemade sauerkraut recently. If you want the recipe, click up here. We'll get a nice big spoonful onto each plate. Now all it needs is a drizzle of my garden sauce plus a sprinkle of those lovely purple sage flowers. This looks so nice in the daylight. Oh my word. Here goes. The texture is unbelievable. Wow. Oh my God, that is incredible. That is literally mind-blowing. I cannot describe how meaty. The texture is chicken. It literally has a chickeny texture. It's almost too realistic for me, but it's delicious with the herbs. This is just a chicken schnitzel. I can't describe it any other way. It seems so perfect. I can't believe that this mushroom exists. It's definitely a gift from the forest gods, as the mythology told us. I can see why it's so rare and highly prized now, and I feel blessed to have stumbled across it. Guys, if this doesn't inspire you to connect with nature and get foraging and go outside, I don't know what will. I'll pop my favorite foraging books in links beneath this video, because that's how I learned to identify certain things. But there's an array of YouTube channels that teach about foraging. I'll keep touching upon it. Be careful when it comes to picking mushrooms, I should say. Really be sure to know that you're picking what you are picking. Just be very careful. Don't take everything. But what a gift from the heavens this is unbelievable. I cannot believe this mushroom. Wow, I wish it was available all year round. Sensational. And this recipe can be recreated with whatever you like. If you have some tempeh or you have other mushrooms, just recreate it. It's really, really good and simple. Wow. Can't believe it.